Okay.
Hey everyone, my name is Monroe Man with Break Diving. Today we're having a cash flow club event and joined today by Ishmael in India. And today we're just going to talk about some general ways that we're making money and the cash flow that's coming in every month. You can't become wealthy unless you have money coming in, which you can then invest in something that's going to bring a high return and bring you returns on your income, making your money work for you. And so we're in our break diving community. We were just talking, Ishmael and I, in our cash flow chat room about the different ways that we're currently making money. And then we discussed what are some other plans for what we want to do over the next 6 months to increase our methods of making money. And so I shared that I have my primary income as an attorney, and I'm working to increase the consistency of clients because the cash flow as a sole practitioner, it changes every month. Some months I'm doing really well and I can pay off the bills for 2 months ahead. Some months I'm not really doing well at all. So the money that I earn in a different month makes up for it. So I would just like it to be more consistent. I also have a two part-time jobs, 1 day a week at a Chinese supermarket, so I can practice my Chinese, and 2 days a week, one class each day at an English school here in Miami Beach. I also make some money from my military disability pension and some royalties from my books, royalties from the movie that's on Amazon Prime and Roku called You Can't Kill Stephen King. And none of these things are massive amounts of money. The legal work is what brings in the bulk of everything else, kind of just piecemeal adds up. But it does all add up. And I think that's the main point, is that if you have money coming from all different sources, even though the individual amounts might be small, eventually they can add up. And then I was telling Ishmael, I was like, the key then is not so much that you have just earning income is the first part. You need to do something with that income. You need to make sure it's making money for you. And so that's, we have an event coming up, an investment society, and also the other one was financial savings club. We're going to talk about some of those things. But Ishmael, you were saying that Ishmael was saying that he just has his job right now as his primary source of income, and we're trying to get him and to have his first additional sources beyond just the job, and also for me to expand mine into different areas. So I'll share what I have, what my plan is to bring in more. And then Ishmael was going to talk about the 4 things that he's planning on doing as well. So I'm working on starting a different business, another business, and to augment the legal work that I do, and it's very closely related. I'm also working on, again, the consistency of the legal work. And I'm working on a novel now, and I think it's pretty good. It's almost done. So we'll see if that comes through. And if so, I can get an agent, and then the agent will help me sell that. That'll bring in income. And something I didn't mention before, I have money in stocks, in bonds, in some real estate funds, in cryptocurrency, etc. And all of that, of course, it brings in appreciation. So that's income. But the more income part of it is the dividends and the interest on all of that. With a lot of the crypto, like Algorand, DAI, I make 2% on DAI, I make 4% on Algorand. On there's another one called the Gemini coin through Gemini platform. I think it's 7% or 8%. So there are ways to have your money make money for you, and that's basically what we want to do here with the cash flow, because it doesn't just mean what more jobs can I get. That's not thinking smart. You need the money. I was just telling Ishmael, we need the money in order to invest it somewhere. But the whole purpose of investment is to bring more cash flow. That's ideally what you want. Something we were talking about in the community earlier is saving money is the thing that most people don't do enough of. And most people don't have enough money to survive for even a month if they lost their job. And that's a big, scary, horrible thing. And if you're in that situation, if you're watching this on YouTube, you need to get out of it, and you need to save 5% of every paycheck. It's called pay yourself first. But there's another problem on the other end, the other extreme. So one extreme is I don't save enough. The other is I save so much that I'm almost hoarding money. So you're cash rich. Yes, you got lots of money in the bank, but you're living a deprived life because you're putting everything in the bank. And well, what happens if you die tomorrow? Well, what was the point of saving all of that money? Sure, it'll go to your kids or your family through probate and through your will, but isn't the primary reason you're saving up this money ideally for you, for your life? And so that's I used to never save, and credit cards crazy, and then I got over that and finally got all the credit cards paid off and save like a madman. But the problem is I saved, keyword madman, I saved so much, and I'm looking at it and going, what is this money doing here? And so my next evolution is to figure out, okay, what part of this money do I want to do something with? And I need to make sure that each one has a specific job rather than I'm just saving more into this index fund. I'm saving more in this savings account. I'm saving more, buying more crypto. Why do I keep buying the crypto? What's the point of having this portfolio of crypto? It's not, the goal is not to accumulate money. Money is just a tool that you can use. And then, so you take it away, Ishmael. What are your thoughts on cash flow and what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think my main source of income is my full-time job, as I said. Yeah, so I'm going to think that I need to make some money from my blogging. So to do that, I need to write at least consistently. That I'm not doing right now. Also, I thought about doing some freelancing because I get some time off from my job. I have at least a lot of time, free time in my job now. So I can do some freelance works. And I also thinking about growing my YouTube channel also. But I know the blogging and YouTube channel is, I need to wait some time. I can build an audience that much faster. So yeah, I'm looking for getting some freelance job as of now. And I also thinking about investing in stocks also, but I haven't started.
Is it easy to get started for you investing in stocks in India?
I think we have so many applications, like, so many services that will help you to invest in stocks. Yeah, some clients like services like Paytm, Grow. Yeah, there are a lot of them, but I don't know which to choose.
Why don't you post them in the community, the names of them, and we can all research them together and we can help you pick. The big thing is, like, I still hear you saying that your mission is to start to make more money. But before you make more money, you have to have the good financial habits of saving. Because everybody's expenses increase based on how much money you make. So if all of a sudden you get a 10% raise, you're now going to spend 10% more money. But if before you get the 10% raise, you already have a savings plan, an investing plan, it'd be like, oh, great, I got a 10% raise. I'm going to put 5% of that raise into savings and investment, and then I'm going to increase my standard of living by 5%. So I think the number one thing you need to do is don't worry about the blogs, YouTube, freelancing, any of that. First, put together your financial schematic and make sure you have your plan in place, or else you're just going to be ending up. There are some people who make $500,000 a month and they spend it all in 1 month. I don't consider those people rich or wealthy. They have a high income, but they're not wealthy because they have nothing in the bank and they have big credit card debts and stuff like that. So that's the main target. What are you going to do about that?
Yeah, it's like last month I saved some money, but this month I took it. No. This month I took it.
You know what the key is too, is it's better to save a less amount of money that you can consistently do
Yeah.
than doing a big amount and then never doing it again because it was so, oh my gosh, I can't afford to spend that, save that money. And I find that people will be more consistent even if it's just $1 per month,
Yeah, that'd be good.
because it'll just get you into that habit of doing it. In my
Yeah.
case, it's become a very bad habit because I just throw it all in there. More than I probably should. It's better to save more than to save than to not, you know what I'm saying? It's a good bad habit to have.
Yeah.
To save more than I think that I should, but it helps because it makes me very calm financially, and that I know I don't care if I lose all my income for the next 6 months, I'm good. And I can pay for everything.
Yeah, I think it's like it's for me. I think to be honest, I have a security. Like my father have a job. I don't have to pay for my family for that. So when I see money in my account, I spend it all. That's how it
So,
happens.
so I was talking to some of my students at the English school where I teach, because we're talking about financial management there too. And I said, and most of them are in high school. And I said, how many of you survive based on your parents? And pretty much everyone raised their hands. And I said, God forbid, what if something happens to your parents? They get injured, they lose their job, they die. Do you have any plan
Yeah,
whatsoever to survive? And some of their eyes went, oh, and it made sense to them. And I think it's the same thing, Ishmael. Don't rely on that. You need to have your own safety net, your
yeah,
own security, your own 3 months of savings, at least 3 months of your expenses at least need to be in the bank.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's a necessity.
So anyway, so once that's all set up, once you have your savings plan, like literally you should save. Can you afford to save $5 per month?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Then you need to do that every month. Can you do $5 per week?
Oh, I don't think so, but yeah, if I
So
want, I can
start
say.
so start with $5 per month, and every month on the first of the month, you take $5 and put it in your savings. That's step one. And you never touch it.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
think.
allowed to use it.
Yeah, I think I can create a fixed deposit account and put it in there.
A what account?
Fixed deposit.
A deposit account. Good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you should do that. So anyway, we're talking then about what can we do to increase our cash flow, which is what this meeting is about. But of course, you don't want to increase your cash flow if you don't first have a good foundation and you're saving. If you're just spending it all, that's a nightmare. There they say most people who win the lottery in the United States, they're in more debt a year after they win the lottery than they were before, because they're still using their same horrible financial habits that they had before. They didn't have a plan in place. If I win the lottery, I'm going to put 10% immediately into a savings account. I'll put another 10% into the stock market. I'm going to use 20% to buy a home so that I'm set for life, for the home. I mean, so that's important. In terms of me increasing my cash flow, yeah, the number one thing I can do is be more disciplined with making proposals on UpCouncil and being on the Just Answer site more frequently. The second one, which is it's possible. I'm not sure how probable it is, but finishing the novel, that's probable. Selling it and getting a book deal with a traditional publisher, that we have to see. I have to see what the market is, but I'm almost done with it. I think I'll have a rough draft by Christmas, which is in about 6 weeks. And then I have to go through and revise it. And then I should have a polished version, I think, by February. And then
Yeah.
can go ahead and start pitching that. I found these 3 websites they're like these stock market apps on your phone, but instead it's with real estate. One's called Fundrise, one's called Diversifund, one is called Landa. And I'm looking into them to see if that would help bring in cash flow, because apparently you put in your money, invest in the real estate with this company, and then every time the people pay rent, you get your share of the rent.
Yeah, it's almost like stocks, right?
It's similar to stocks and it's similar to like a dividend. And my only concern though is with these real estate apps, it's difficult to sell your shares.
Oh,
So like, for example, Diversifund requires you put up $500 minimum and you can't withdraw it for 5 years. But every 3 months, you'll receive your dividend payments from the investment. But it's unclear to me, if I haven't looked yet, if the return that you get in those dividend payments every 3 months is worth locking up
yeah.
so much money. And so I'm just still doing research on that, but I'm looking to see if that might help bring in some more income. I make the income too from the stocks. I get these dividends constantly, but I just reinvest them. So to me, it doesn't feel like income,
Yeah.
because I don't really see it. It just, I get the notices. Hey, you just received dividends from Apple, from Tesla, from S&P 500, from the SPY, but it just goes right back in. So I think at some point I have to start figuring out, because a lot of people use dividends as income. So instead of it being reinvested back into the stock, it goes into your bank account. And then you've got, but right now I'm not making enough dividends where it would make a huge impact on my life. So I feel like, okay, it's better for me to just keep reinvesting them until the portfolio grows big enough that, oh my gosh, I just got dividends this month, and that just paid for, half of the rent or something like that. So
How much will you invest in stocks?
oh, thousands and thousands of dollars. So, and I just keep adding to it every single month, every single week. Sometimes it's like 3 times a week. This is why I say that I have this, it's like a gambling addiction, but for me, it's saving money and putting money into my stock portfolio and buying crypto. Obviously, it's far less risky than going to the gambling casino. And obviously, I mean, I'm getting returns constantly, so I'm not losing any money. So it's not a bad thing to do. But like I said, I spend money on savings in the stock market, like some women do on shoes, and some guys do on beer, where it's constantly money comes in and it goes to the beer, goes to the shoes. Me, it goes to savings, it goes to the stock market, it goes to crypto. And that's what our next discussion is, the next event. It's the Financial Savings Club, is determining at what point you've saved enough, and or what precisely are you saving for. For example, I have the first thing you do when you're saving, when your money comes in, you need to build up your emergency fund. You need enough money in cash that you can easily pay all of your bills for 3 months if you lose your job, lose your sources of income. I think I'm beyond that. I'm probably at 5, 6, 7 months now. But now, so okay, that's done. Well, what else am I saving up for? It could be my retirement, and I'm doing that, but my retirement is, God, what, 30 years from now? And so I don't know. I'm trying to figure out precisely what it is that I'm saving for. And I feel like I need to take some of it and do something fun with it, rather than I'm just saving it up for retirement. Because like I said, what if I die before retirement? Well, that was great. I saved up all this money for somebody else to have.
You can travel around the world, right?
Yeah, well, I have different savings accounts for travel. So I have a travel fund, and I have, like, for different countries that I want to go to, I have a separate fund. So I'm saving up for India, saving up for New Zealand. I have a Thailand fund. I have a one for, which is another country that I wanted to go to. Another one, go back to China again. And so I have those taken care of, but some of them I just wonder what. But we're going to talk about that in the financial savings club. We'll figure out more about that. But what you need to do between now and then is keep adding money to your savings account. And two is go onto the app store in India, find every app, put in savings app and investing app, and copy them all down, research them all. I have a bunch of apps that just help me save money. And for example, and every week it takes $5 out of my account and puts it into savings. Another one rounds it up. So as I'm buying things with my debit card, once it reaches $5, boom, then deposit. And those little bits of $5 goes up. And so you just need to figure out whatever the equivalent of $5 is in India. Maybe it's $2, maybe it's 10. I don't know what the exchange rate is and all that stuff, but you have to start doing this now. And you have to get to the point where you can feel like, wow, if I lost my job,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have to go ask my family and friends for help for at least 3 months, because I have
yes.
3 months of my expenses saved up. So to pay for your rent, your food, your electricity, all that stuff. That's step one. And let's put together our plans for let's keep thinking about it. What can we do to improve our cash flow? We need to have more. I think your plan to do Upwork is great. I might even look at Upwork again now, because now that I know UpCounsel, we talked about that as the same thing, but for lawyers. And it took me a while before I started to get clients on UpCounsel. I realized, as I told you, you need to make 100 proposals before you get your first one. So when I did Upwork first, I thought it was going to be a very quick thing. And within 2 proposals, I thought I'd start making money, and I didn't, and I quit. But now that I know, oh, it takes 100 proposals before you get your first one, but then that starts to snowball because you've got your reputation. I think your Upwork thing is the #1 thing that's going to bring in cash flow immediately. I have my YouTube channel too. I've got almost 1,200 subscribers, and I have a lot of people viewing it. I'm still making no money from it. I don't think I'll be making money from that channel until I've got 5 or 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
And I need a
I
video
have
that's going to have many, many, many views. Go ahead.
yeah, I have a brother-in-law who have 100K subscribers, and he still make less money from YouTube.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. It matters how many people watch your videos for a long period of time.
Yeah, that's it.
So that is the key. Anywho, do you have any questions? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know how to start investing in stocks, like which company, how we can analyze.
You should get in. You should if I find out if you can invest in American companies from India, because if you can get the SPY. It's the S&P 500 index fund, and that thing's doubled in 5 years. So if you put $1,000 in it in 2016, it would be $2,000 today, which is a pretty good return. Double your money in 5 years. And it gives you out good dividends. I mean, that's an easy thing to do. There's got to be some apps in India that help you invest. And to begin with, you don't have to choose which stocks. You just invest in the exchange traded funds. If you do want to invest in companies, I mean, of course, you can invest in Apple. You can invest in Microsoft. You can invest in Walmart. You can invest in Costco, these American companies that everybody knows, McDonald's, Boeing.
Yeah.
Though Boeing actually isn't so great these days because of the problem with their 747 Max and stuff. But that's why getting an exchange traded fund, which you buy a little bit of the whole stock market.
Will you get the dividends in months, every month?
I get dividends about every like 4 or 5 days, but that's because I have so many stocks. And so when you have a bunch of stocks all across the market, each company is giving dividends at a different time. So I'd say maybe every 5, 6 days, I'm getting some type of dividend from one of the stocks at least that I have. And what's interesting, over the last 3, 4 years, I've noticed that the dividend payments are going up because I keep reinvesting them.
Yeah. So
And
it's
so
kind of,
I'm at more and more stock, and I'm buying more and more stock every month. So now the income that I'm getting from these stocks is growing too. That's what I'm saying. I think eventually, maybe, I mean, in fact, this might even help lead to the question of how much is hoarding, how much cash hoarded is enough? Maybe the answer is not enough if you're putting it into the stock market that can give you cash flow. Because if I keep going at the rate I'm going, by the time I'm 70, I probably, if I don't sell any of this, I just keep investing more and more money, the cash flow from the dividends could actually be my retirement income.
yeah.
So if I can get it up to a high enough amount, I probably need to get it up to about $300,000 worth of stocks. But if I do that, I think the number of the money that can come from it. Oh, another way that I make money, I forgot to mention this, is something called selling covered calls. That's a whole other story. We'll talk about it. But if you have 100 shares of stock, you can sell an option contract to somebody else who thinks that the price is going to go up. If the price doesn't go up, you keep the money that they paid you and you keep the stock. And so like on one stock I make about $10 per week by selling the covered calls. And it's just consistent income. Sometimes it's $10, sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's 2. So it depends. But that's another reason why you should get into the stock market, because once you have 100 shares of an optionable stock, you can start to make some income through covered calls. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that sounds good.
do your research and post in the community a list of all of the different names of and include a website too, because those of us that like live in other countries, we probably can't find that app maybe because it might be specific to India. And we have the American App Store or the German App Store, stuff like that. So, but post them up there. We'll help you do the research and we'll help you pick out which one is going to be the best.
Yes,
Cool.
I'll do that.
So for those of you on YouTube, hope you found this enlightening. Hope you too are going to start setting up your savings, your emergency fund, working on increasing your cash flow. And please come join us at breakdiving.io. The link is in the description below. Please also click like, subscribe, share a comment, and share the video. But again, come join us at breakdiving.io. It's much more fun. We get a lot more people on these calls. We'll have more people interacting in the chat rooms, and we'll all become wealthy, rich together. Yes. So, bye everyone.